This first room is a jungle biome, so I'm adding a jungle background, jungle floor, and this needs lots of trees, lots of plants, but specifically like ferns, the kind of plant that you would see in the jungle, so I'm adding lots of those. And obviously all of these plants have like pots and stuff, so we're gonna have to cover those eventually. That's why we need to layer everything, like so many layers of plants. And I'm covering the ceiling as well, or I guess the sky, because I feel like that looks more jungly. And that's me covering up the pots with more plants, testing different plants, just kind of putting plants randomly, covering more pots, blah blah blah. And now I'm just filling the space with anything jungle-like. And that plant in the background is definitely for the ocean theme, but I thought it kind of worked for this. Now I'm just covering up more stuff, filling the area. I want this to look very full because this is a jungle, of course, and jungles have plants literally everywhere. And a lot of this is just testing out what looks good and what doesn't. Like, I just added that little branch a second ago. That did not match whatsoever, but I just had to see. Okay, and I added some flowers too because I feel like there's flowers in the jungle and needed something. Little jungle animals, like that bird definitely is not jungly. And the room is finally finished. Alright, this next room is going to be the Savannah biome, and this was kind of harder to decorate because we don't have a lot of options for this. But I just added some of the wheat grass, which I thought kind of looked like the tall grass in the grasslands, I guess, and I'm just shaping that around a tree. Okay, and I'm adding that tree up taller so that gives the room some dimension, some level to it, and obviously I have to put stuff underneath that so it doesn't look like it's floating. So I'm adding some rocks on the other side to make it look even, and just moving stuff around to see what works. Also, we don't have any background options for like a savanna, so I thought this was the closest thing. And since we don't have a lot of options, I'm adding a little hut because I feel like the roof kind of looks like something that would be in the savanna. And also, just in case you didn't know, people in the savanna, when they build stuff, they have to build it up high to like protect yourself from the animals that are roaming around. So I kind of did that underneath with the fence. And then I tried to decide what window I should do, and obviously I'm indecisive about where the window should be placed, but I decided on that. And adding some frogs, some water, because I felt like it looked kind of bare. Obviously we need a well because there's not a lot of water, even though I did place a river, so that might not make so much sense, but I think it looks cute. Adding a sun, of course, because it's so hot out there. And I don't know why I'm trying to place a trunk over there whenever I have another fence to place to make it even, so just ignore that. Adding some animals, and this is the room completed. Okay, this next biome is like a wintry forest biome, and this was actually so hard to make because we don't have like any options for winter landscaping. So I had to add a little house because I thought that was the closest thing I had to a cabin. And obviously I'm placing the trees higher up to make it have more depth to the room. And we're doing ice fishing, of course. And those are the little winter animals I thought I'd add. But you know what? I'm putting one up on the mountain and now they're friends. Someone is fishing right there. And I was going to add this somewhere because I felt like it matched. But I think it looks better with the bird. Definitely. And the room is finished. This next biome is tropical, as you can tell by the outfit. And I don't know why I didn't add the fancier sand that we have, so I just did the plain background. And you're gonna see me struggling with this body of water I have. Like, it's so hard to layer with it, so eventually I just give up and take it out. You'll see that in a second. And then I'm just gonna try to cover up the cement part, like the stone part of that water, so it looks more ocean-like, like more natural. So I'm just adding more tropical plants wherever I can to cover up the stone. And of course, palm trees literally everywhere. And you can see me adding this little ship, but I feel like it doesn't match the vibe. Definitely does not match the vibe, so I took that away. Taking this away too, yeah. There's a lot of trial and error. You just have to keep adding stuff until it looks right. Okay, and I'm finally able to add the water back. And you see that little space right there where you can see the rock or the stone. I'm covering that up with like a little green thing, and I think that looks awesome. Now you can't see it at all and it just looks like the ocean. Adding some bubbles just for some fun, you know, and that room is completed. Okay, this is the last room, and this is more of a flower field biome, and I'm adding the cutie little flower trees everywhere, and that little pond is perfect for this room. I love that little frog. And now I'm just adding flowers everywhere. Again, we're gonna be layering a lot of the flowers because a lot of them have pots on the bottom, or like fruit, like that little vase right there. And if you can't tell already, I love a maximalist room, so be prepared for there to be a lot of flowers everywhere. And I didn't feel like those flowers fit very well. I feel like they didn't feel like they matched the color scheme. So I'm just adding as many flowers as I can that match the pastel vibes. And I'm adding some petals to fill that little space in the floor there. And I'm adding another flower tree at the top to fill that space. And that room is completed.